So today we are going to start with organic chemistry. Now I have just divided the organic chemistry into small portions where all the important mechanisms and reagents will be covered in detail, like as in whatever you were doing in your classroom program. We will try to approach in that way and we will try to build the concepts and then go on to solve good level questions. So let's start with the lecture. So our topic for discussion today is Grignard reagent. Now everyone might have heard about Grignard reagent and its wide application in organic synthesis. Grignard reagent is a very important compound because it is one of those compounds in which carbon carries a negative charge. Because carbon is carrying a negative charge in this case, so it indicates that it can act as a base as well as nucleophile. Now when it acts as a nucleophile, it can attack on another carbon and form carbon-carbon bond. So this compound is basically used for formation of carbon-carbon bond formation. Now it is a widely used reagent when we carry out organic synthesis. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So let's start with the first concept, that is of organometallic compounds. Now what are organometallic compounds? If you look at the word, it is derived from two words, organo and metallic. Organo means organic, organic means compound containing a carbon and hydrogen and a metal. So basically organometallic compounds are those compounds in which the carbon is attached to a metal atom and the carbon has to belong to a organic group. Now this was the ancient definition that was given, but things have changed a lot after that. There are many compounds in which carbon is not organic, still it is considered as an organometallic compound, but we will stick to this definition. Compounds that contain a metal carbon bond, the carbon belonging to organic group, are known as organometallic compound. So if you look at some examples of organometallic compounds, the first being Grignard reagent. Now what exactly is a Grignard reagent? Commonly we write Grignard reagent as RMgX. So this is a general Grignard reagent, whereas this is a magnesium atom, X is halogen and R is any alkyl group. So if we look at this molecule closely, so we know that there is a metal Mg and X is a non-metal. So there is a ionic bond between the metal and the non-metal. Because magnesium is electropositive, it will have the share of electron from the carbon, so it would leave a negative charge on this carbon. So basically when we are talking about RMg bond, so this is basically a polar covalent bond. So the bond between metal and the carbon here is a polar covalent bond. Due to the high electropositivity of magnesium, this alkyl group will have a negative charge on it. So this is a very common example of a organometallic compound. A second compound that is often encountered is alkyl lithium. So if we look at alkyl lithium, it is something like this, RLi. So again lithium is electropositive metal, lithium will have a plus charge and R would have a negative charge. The ionic character here is more than that of Grignard reagent, so this has more negative charge on carbon. Similarly we can have dialkyl lithium cuprates, something like R2CuLi. Now in this, the two alkyl groups are attached to R and this is having a, overall this is having a negative charge. So basically what is happening in this reaction, in this reagent, the R group is directly attached to copper and due to which there is a polar covalent bond between R and copper and the carbon would have negative charge on it. This is also, if R is methyl, it is also called as Gilman's reagent. So you might have encountered this reagent when you were doing Corey house synthesis. So this is also called as Gilman's reagent. The next compound which we can do is dialkyl cadmium, R2CD. So these are the few organometallic compounds that are very important for JEE examinations or NEET examinations. Now there was some question in previous year JEE mains that which of the following is not an organometallic compound, and one option given was lithium methoxide. So if you consider lithium methoxide, we know that methoxide is CH3O negative and lithium is Li plus. So basically there is an ionic bond between oxygen and lithium. So here the metal is attached to oxygen and not carbon. Hence this is not a organometallic compound. So basically organometallic compounds are those compounds in which a metal is linked to a organic carbon. So you can have the snapshot of this definition and example. So let us discuss Grignard reagent in detail. Now if we look at the Grignard reagent, how it is prepared, we take RMG, we take any RX, and to this we treat magnesium in presence of dry ether and we form RMgX. So if you take any alkyl halide and you add magnesium to it in presence of dry ether solvent, then Grignard reagent is formed. Now one important question that can be asked over here, why dry conditions are maintained and what is the role of this ether molecule? So if we consider why dry conditions are chosen over here, because if the conditions were moist, moist means there is moisture in the reaction mixture. So if it is moist, then the magnesium, which is highly electropositive metal, would react with the moisture. Magnesium would react with moisture and would lose its electropositive character. We know that whenever highly reactive metals are taken in water, it ionizes and hydrogen gas is liberated out. So in this case same thing would happen if we would have taken moist condition, the magnesium present over here would not have reacted with alkyl halide and it would have reacted with the solvent system itself evolving hydrogen. So that is why we are not taking moist condition. There is another important factor over here, because in Grignard reagent there is a development of negative charge on carbon. So if we are taking moisture or moist condition, so what would happen is there would be a reaction between the Grignard reagent and water. So it would form RH plus MgOHX. So again the Grignard reagent formed would react with the moisture. So basically what we are saying that during the formation of Grignard reagent, dry conditions are required, because in moist conditions the electropositive magnesium would react with water and lose its electropositive character. The second is, if however Grignard reagent is formed, if suppose we have taken this in small amount, the solvent system is small amount, so that some magnesium are left, so that could react with the Grignard, that could react with the alkyl halide and lead to the formation of Grignard reagent. But in that case, if certain amount of water is also present in the reaction mixture, it would directly react with the Grignard reagent and the formation of Grignard reagent would be stopped. So that is why we are not taking moist condition and we are going only with dry condition. Now the next question comes is role of ether. What does ether do in these reactions? Now we know that magnesium is highly electropositive and it is highly reactive. So these compounds are highly unstable. Now whenever you prepare these compounds in lab, they are generally prepared at very low temperature, that is below 0 degree Celsius, and they are handled with very care, because if it comes in contact with air, air has certain moisture in it. So the Grignard would react with the moisture forming the hydrocarbon and the reaction is exothermic. So we have to make sure that these reactions are carried out at very low temperature. Now what does basically this ether do? Because there is a magnesium which is highly electropositive. So what does ether do is, ether just stabilizes the magnesium by forming a covalent coordinate bond with magnesium. So basically what ether is doing? Ether is donating its pair of electron to magnesium and stabilizing the magnesium atom which is present over there, so that it does not react quickly. So whenever there is a formation of Grignard reagent, we would definitely need a stabilizing solvent. Now what do you mean by stabilizing solvent? A stabilizing solvent is the one which will stabilize the product formed. In this case it has to be a ether or any molecule in which hydrogen is not present along with electronegative atom. So basically in ether, because there is no hydrogen attached with oxygen, so it can just stabilize, because if we are taking say any nitrogen containing group, say RNH2, nitrogen has lone pair, so it can donate its lone pair on magnesium and stabilize it, but because it has hydrogen attached to a electronegative atom, so that hydrogen would come out and get evolved as hydrogen gas, and the magnesium would require, and the magnesium would not, like the magnesium would react with it and lose its electropositive character. So basically what we have to do is we have to carry out it in the presence of any ether. Ether like tetrahydrofuran, dioxanes, any normal ethers are good solvent system for the formation of Grignard reagent. So I hope this point is clear to everyone. Now, is there any condition required for the formation of Grignard reagent? Does all molecule form Grignard reagent? We would cover this through questions, but just remember, if you consider a phenyl halide, now we know that in phenyl halide there are lone pair on X, so due to resonance there is a development of double bond over here. Now because of double bond this bond becomes strong, so we would expect that these bonds are not breaking, but magnesium being a highly electropositive metal even cleaves this bond and forms phenyl Grignard reagent or phenyl magnesium halide. So any molecule when taken with magnesium in presence of dry ether will always form a Grignard reagent. So if you look at the mechanism of this reaction basically proceeds through a single electron transfer mechanism. Now the mechanism of these reactions are not important, they are not asked in JEE, but this helps us in understanding the reaction in a much better and effective manner. So look at the mechanism, what this mechanism is saying. Initially we are having magnesium, so we know that magnesium is a electropositive metal, it has 2 valence electrons, so it will release its electron. So in the first step magnesium releases its 1 electron, so it forms a univalent cation Mg plus, because it had 2 valence electron and it lost 1 valence electron, so we are showing this as a radical species over here, and this 1 electron goes to the halogen atom, because halogen is an electronegative atom, and it forms a negative charge over here with a odd electron on the halogen. Now because of this bond polarizes radically, because there is a formation of radical and there is a formation of a carbon radical, and X negative is expelled out. Now because a radical is being formed over here, and in the first step a magnesium radical is also present, these two radicals react together and forms Rmg plus, and the anion which was released over here gets ionically bonded and it forms Rmgx. So basically what is happening in this reaction, the CX bond is getting cleaved, the CX bond as you see is getting cleaved, and a radical is being formed, and then the radical combines with the magnesium radical to form Rmg plus, which gets ionically attached to X negative. So a very important question that could come over here is ease of formation. Now suppose we are having Ri, Rbr, Rcl and Rf. Now the question comes, which will easily form the Grignard reagent? So we know that from the mechanism that there is a cleavage of or there is a breakage of CX bond. So in this case there is a Ci bond that has to be broken, in this it is Cbr bond that has to be broken, in this it is CCl bond that has to be broken, in this it is Rf bond, Cf bond that has to be broken, and we know that the bond energy of CF bond is most as compared to CCl, followed by CBr, and Ci is having least bond energy. Now why it is so? Because as you go from fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, the size of the atom increases. Because the size of the atom increases, its atomic orbital will also increase, and we know that larger atomic orbital forms or overlap in a less effective manner. Because this iodine is large, so the overlap area with carbon would be less, and due to which this bond would be having least bond energy. Because fluorine is small in size, its atomic orbital will also be small, and it can easily overlap with the carbon, forming a strong bond. Now because Ci bond is weak, it can easily be cleaved by magnesium, and hence the formation of RMgI would be most easy, followed by RBr, followed by RCl, followed by RF. So you can have the snapshot of this page again. So now let us look at the reactions of Grignard reagent. Now as I already told you, in Grignard reagent we are taking RMgX. There is a ionic bond between magnesium and halogen, because there is it is a bond between a metal and a non-metal, and here the bond is that of a polar covalent bond, due to which there is some negative charge present on the carbon. Many textbooks over here also says that there is complete negative charge on carbon. That is also true, but this is a better understanding of the topic, because once we take this molecule in a certain reaction, the bond polarizes and there can be formation of a complete negative charge. So for shortcut techniques, let us just assume that there is a complete negative charge on the carbon. Now we know that if there is a negative charge on the carbon, now this can act as a base as well as a nucleophile. So basically the Grignard reagent shows two kinds of reaction, one in which it can act as a nucleophile and another where it can act as a base. So let us start with the first reaction, that is Grignard reagent behaving as a base. So this is actually very easy, just you need to have the right concept placed. Now whenever you see Grignard reagent in a question, it should automatically click in your mind there are only two possibilities. Either it can act as a base or it can act as a nucleophile. There are no other cases over here. So whenever you see any acidic compound, like carboxylic acid, sulfonic acid, phenol, we know that they are acidic in nature, or compounds having hydrogen attached to electronegative atom. We call these hydrogens as active hydrogen. So whenever hydrogen is attached to a electronegative atom, we say that it is a active hydrogen and has some acidic strength. Or active methylene group. Now everyone might have studied in homologous series that methylene is something like this, CH2. Now suppose there are two electron withdrawing group, EWG represents electron withdrawing group, then these compounds are called as active methylene group, and we know that these hydrogens are also acidic, because once it is deprotonated, a carbon ion will be formed on this carbon, and this negative charge is stabilized by the electron withdrawing effect of these groups attached to them. So basically what we are going to look at, whenever Grignard reagent is taken with any acidic compound means the hydrogen present over there can be released as H plus ion, or any active hydrogen compound. Active hydrogen compound means hydrogen attached to a electronegative atom, or an active methylene group. So you just have to think that the Grignard reagent will act as a base, and there would be a acid base reaction. Acid base reactions have generally greater rate constant, so these reactions proceeds at an appreciable rate. So let us take some examples. Suppose we are taking CS3 MgBr. So just we will make a route map for all the reactions. Suppose we react this with water. Now in water, hydrogen is attached to a electronegative atom, so it is an active hydrogen or it is having some acidic strength. So H plus will get released from here. There is a CH3 negative present over here. CH3 negative and H plus will combine together and form methane gas. So there is an acid base reaction. H plus react with the base plus Mg OH Br. Suppose we react this with D2O. In D2O also, D, which is an isotope of hydrogen, is attached to electronegative atom. So this has some acidic strength. So D plus will be released from here and it will combine with CH3 negative and form CH3D plus Mg OD Br. Similarly, if we react this with ammonia, so in ammonia, hydrogen is attached to electronegative atom, it will also get released as H plus ion and would form methane plus Mg NH2Br, right. Suppose we react this with alcohol. In alcohol also, hydrogen is attached to a electronegative atom, so this hydrogen will be released as H plus, CH3 negative would react with it forming methane and this would be the product. Suppose we react this with a terminal alkyne compound. Now we know that because these carbons are sp hybridized and sp hybridized carbon have higher percentage S character, due to which these carbon are also electronegative. Now because this hydrogen is attached to sp hybridized carbon, so this is also a active hydrogen and this will get released as H plus ion and finally we are going to form this. Suppose we react directly with an acid. Now acids can easily give H plus ion, so this H plus ion will react with CH3 negative forming methane plus Mg OOCr Br. Suppose we react with phenol, pH is your benzene ring, phenyl group. So if we react with phenol, phenol is also having a acidic hydrogen, so it will form methane plus Mg OPH Br. Right. Suppose we react this with sulfonic acid. In sulfonic acid, hydrogen is again acidic, so H plus is released, CH3 negative takes up that H plus and form methane, and something like this is being formed over here, right. Suppose you take say HCl. Inorganic acids we know are stronger acids than organic acids, so H plus is released and in this case it will form methane plus Mg ClBr. So these are some acid base reaction or reactions in which the Grignard reagent behaves as a base. Now we also talked about active methylene group. So let us consider an active methylene compound something like this. So there is a CH2 over here and there are 2 electron withdrawing groups attached to it. So these hydrogens are called as active methylene group. So basically these hydrogens are also acidic because once they are deprotonated, a carbon ion will be formed over here and these carbon ion are stabilized by resonance as well as inductive effect of C double bond O group. So what happens exactly is CH3 negative goes and abstract this hydrogen and form methane gas plus Mg. There is a negative charge over here and there is a positive charge over here and then there is a Br negative also. Similarly, if we react with another active methylene compound something like this, again these hydrogens are acidic, so this CH3 negative abstract them and methane gas is formed. Suppose we take CH3NO2, NO2 is also a very powerful electron withdrawing group, so these hydrogens are acidic, so CH3 negative will abstract it and form methane gas. And last, that is sulfones. Sulfones are something like this because there is a S double bond O present over here, they are also electron withdrawing groups, so the hydrogen present over here are also acidic because once they are deprotonated, a negative charge will be formed which is stabilized by resonance. So, this CH3 negative goes and abstract that hydrogen and methane is formed. So, this is the basic reaction which you should know. So, I hope these reactions are clear to everyone. So, if you look at the reaction, it is very simple to remember. Whenever you see a Grignard reagent and to it you are adding any acidic compound or a compound containing an active hydrogen or a active methylene group compound, there is always a acid base reaction. Grignard reagent has R negative, H plus will be released from the other substrate, they will combine together and form RH. So, when it reacts with water, say with me also so that you get to memorize them easily. When it reacts with water, it will form methane, yes, D2O, it will form CH3D. When it reacts with ammonia, it will form again methane. When it reacts with alcohol, it will again form methane. When it reacts with any strong acids, say organic or inorganic acids, again methane are formed, and with active methylene compounds again methane will be formed. So, these are very important reactions, they have been asked in various JEE Advanced as well as mains paper. The second reaction which we should try to understand over here is their nucleophilic strength and their nucleophilic addition. Now, we know that Grignard reagents, in Grignard reagents there is a negative charge on carbon, so it can also act as a nucleophile. So, what we are going to do is basically nucleophilic addition reaction. So, let us consider a general Grignard reagent something like this, RMgX. We react this with a molecule of formaldehyde. Now, we know that there is a pi bond between carbon and oxygen. Oxygen being highly electronegative will polarize the pi electron towards itself and form a negative charge and would have a negative charge on oxygen and a positive charge on carbon. Now, because this Grignard reagent is having R which is having negative charge, so this will go and attack at the positive center and the pi electrons are polarized because the carbon cannot form 5 bonds. So, the pi bonds are polarized towards oxygen and we form our CH2O negative MgBr. Now, because there is an ionic bond between oxygen and magnesium, so this can be hydrolyzed in aqueous medium, either we take H2O or we take H plus water or we take ammonium chloride. Now, ammonium chloride is a salt. If we take an aqueous solution of ammonium chloride, it will be acidic in nature because it is made up of ammonium hydroxide and HCl, ammonium hydroxide being a weak base and HCl being a strong acid. So, these salts when dissolved in water would give a solution that is acidic in nature. So, basically what would happen, this will hydrolyze and would form our CH2OH. So, this last step is also called as acidic workup. So, when we react this with formaldehyde, a 1 degree alcohol is formed. Now, suppose let us take an aldehyde having a R group and suppose we are taking pH MgBr. So, we again know that, like as we have done in the previous reaction, because carbon is attached to oxygen through a pi bond, oxygen being a more electronegative atom will polarize the pi electron towards itself having some negative charge and the carbon would have some positive charge, due to which this nucleophilic atom will go and attack at the carbon and the pi electrons are polarized over here and we form our CO negative H pH MgBr, and in last step again we add water or ammonium chloride and we form R CHOH pH. So, we form a 2 degree alcohol in this case. So, if we look at this carbon, now this carbon is attached to 4 different groups. There is a R group present, there is a H, there is a phenyl and there is a OH. because there are 4 different groups attached to this carbon. So this compound is chiral, and because it is chiral, it will have 2 isomers which are called as enantiomer. So basically in these cases 2 compounds are formed because it is a chiral molecule. Now let us consider another reaction, CH3MgBr plus, say we are having a ketone molecule. Now the ketone alpha hydrogen, these are also alpha carbon, any carbon attached to alpha position of the functional group is called as alpha carbon. Now we know that alpha hydrogens are also acidic, because once they are protonated, deprotonated, it forms a carbon ion over here, and this carbon ion can be resonance stabilized. But Grignard reagent is not that strong base to abstract this acidic hydrogen. So in these cases just don't think of acid base reaction, just categorize it perfectly. Like as in the previous slide I have already told you, whenever you see active hydrogen, acidic hydrogen or a active methylene group, just go for the acid base reaction, otherwise you have to carry out addition reaction. So this CH3 negative goes and attack at this carbon, the pi electrons are polarized, so we form CH3, C, O negative, CH3, CH3, MgX, and now this hydrolyze in the last step forming a 3-degree alcohol. Now this is achiral because the groups attached are same, so only one compound will be formed. So this is also a very important question that can be asked in JEE Mains also, number of product formed. So you have to look for the stereochemistry as well in these type of reactions. So basically if you look, Grignard reagent reacts with carbonyl compound, aldehydes or ketone to form alcohols, right. So if you look at these reactions, aldehydes or ketones consumes only 1 mole of Grignard reagent. Now this is a very important thing to remember, because many questions are asked, especially in integer type where different level of functional group would be given to you, and then you have to carry out these reactions. So any aldehyde or ketone consumes just 1 mole of Grignard reagent. Now suppose we are having a molecule something like this, and we react this with CH3MgBr. So this is a very simple reaction, and in second step suppose we are taking water or we are carrying out acidic workup. So this will attack at this carbonyl carbon and form a 3-degree alcohol, right. Now this carbon is not optically active because the 2 groups attached over here are same. But suppose there is a question something like this, where we are having a C double bond O and say a OH is also present, and we take CH3 MgBr 1 equivalent. So there are 2 reactions that can happen over here. One is the nucleophilic addition, Grignard reagent can go and attack on C double bond O, and the other is it can abstract the acidic hydrogen. Now we know that acid base reactions are generally fast reactions. So whenever there is an active hydrogen present, this is active hydrogen because hydrogen is attached to a electronegative atom, so a methane gas would be released in this case. Because acid base reactions are fast, so the acidic hydrogen is abstracted first and the addition reaction won't happen in this case, right. So just have a snapshot of this as well. Now let us come to the next concept, that is reactivity of different molecules toward nucleophilic addition. Now this you might have already studied in aldehydes or ketones. Consider a aldehyde, a formaldehyde, acetaldehyde and say benzaldehyde. What we have to look to compare the rate of these molecules with Grignard reagent, because in a nucleophilic addition the Grignard reagent, the R negative present in it, goes and attack at the carbonyl carbon having positive charge. So the molecule having more positive charge on the carbon will be attacked first. So basically what we have to look for is the positive charge at the carbonyl carbon. Now we know that these pi electrons are polarized, there is a negative and there is a development of positive charge. Same with this case and same with this case. Now, there are two hydrogens attached to this carbon. The hydrogen does not have any effect, so the positive charge remain as it is, whereas methyl we know has a plus I effect, so it releases electron and stabilizes the positive charge, whereas in benzaldehyde there is a resonance of pi electrons, due to which the electrons are shifted toward this carbon, which further get polarized towards oxygen. So, the positive charge is stabilized most over here. Because of resonance, the C double bond O is polarized, C double bond O is stabilized, due to which Grignard reagent won't attack easily on this molecule as compared to these two molecules. Hence, formaldehyde will be more reactive than acetaldehyde, and acetaldehyde would be more reactive than benzaldehyde towards a nucleophilic addition reaction. Suppose we compare this with a ketone. Let us compare an aldehyde with ketone. Like a question can come, suppose we are having a reaction mixture in which there is 1 mole of aldehyde and 1 mole of a ketone. To this we add 1 equivalent of say a Grignard reagent. So, the question would come, which of the following would react first, an aldehyde or a ketone, or both reacts simultaneously. So, for this we have to again look at the electronic factor. This is having some negative charge, this is having some positive charge, this is having some negative charge, this is having some positive charge. R group would release electron and stabilize the positive charge. In this there are two R groups, so both of them will release electron and stabilize the positive charge, due to which the positive charge decreases over here. So, the addition of nucleophile is slower in this case, hence aldehydes are again more reactive. So, basically we say that aldehydes are more reactive than ketone. In which reactions? Yeah, it is true in nucleophilic addition reactions, due to two factors. One is electronic effect. Electronic effect means the charges on the carbonyl carbon, and the second reason which should also be taken into account is steric factor. Now, we know that in a ketone there are two alkyl groups attached. So, a new R group would come and attack at this position, would be sterically hindered, because these two groups would offer steric repulsion to that particular Grignard reagent. So, we say that aldehydes are always more reactive than ketone. So, if we just want to have a general order, so we can say that a formaldehyde is more reactive than acetaldehyde, acetaldehyde is more reactive than benzaldehyde, all of them are aldehydes. This will be more reactive than a ketone. This ketone is more reactive than acetophenone, acetone is more reactive than acetophenone, because there is a resonance stabilization. And if we consider benzophenone, benzophenone will be least reactive among all the ketones, because there are two benzene ring, both of them will stabilize through resonance, and this carbonyl group is stabilized, and also the steric bulk increases. Now, one again important concept that would come over here is, if we consider any acyl chloride. Now, we know that in acyl chloride, what is basically acyl chloride? It is RCOCl. So, this is also a carbonyl compound. Now, there is a lone pair on Cl. So, we can say that there is a resonance between the lone pair on Cl and the C double bond O, but because the lone pair of Cl is present in 3p orbital and the pi bond of CO is made up of 2p orbital. So, the resonance is not effective because the orbitals do not have the proper symmetry. There is a mismatch of symmetry because these orbitals are larger. So, in case of acyl chloride, resonance is not dominant, inductive effect dominates, and this withdraws the electrons and increases the positive charge on this carbon. Hence, acyl chloride are more reactive. So, if a general order, if you can consider, is acyl chlorides are more reactive than anhydrides, anhydrides are reactive than aldehydes, aldehydes are more reactive than ketones, ketones are more reactive than esters, and esters are more reactive than amides. So, this is the basic general order of reactivity of different molecules with Grignard reagent. So, again this is also very important, like many questions can be asked at JEE level based on these concepts. So I hope this is clear. So now let us enter into another reaction, that is addition of Grignard reagent on carboxylic acid derivatives. The first carboxylic acid derivative is ester. So if we look at a ester molecule, it is something like this: R, C double bond O, OR. Acha, like one thing which is very important is the nomenclature of ester. Suppose we are having an ester something like this. So what is the name of this ester? Generally during the nomenclature of ester, what we do is we name the alkyl group attached to the oxygen. So that is a methyl. So first we have to name the alkyl group that is attached to the oxygen, and there are 2 carbons over here. So we call this as ethane O8. So this molecule is basically methyl ethanoate. Okay. So when we react a ester with say a Grignard reagent, now there is a development of some negative charge over here and there is a positive charge over here. Now we know that the lone pair of oxygen will undergo resonance with C double bond O and would stabilize the carbonyl group. That is why ketones were more reactive than esters, which we did in the previous slide. So what would happen over here? This R would go and attack at this carbon and this pi electron would polarize. So what would be formed over here is RC O negative R OR, and there is an ionic bond between O negative and MgX. Now because the carbon is attached to two electronegative atom, because of which there would be a repulsion between lone pairs. So this negative charge would push its electron and the OR group would be released out. So what we are going to form over here is a ketone molecule. So we form a ketone over here. So when we react an ester with 1 mole of Grignard reagent, a ketone is formed. Because there is a development of a carbonyl group, this can undergo reaction with another Grignard reagent, and in second step if we carry out the acidic hydrolysis or the acidic workup, we would get a alcohol. So basically if you look at this reaction, ester consumes 2 moles of Grignard reagent. I hope this is clear to everyone. Let us try 2-3 questions on this. Suppose we are having a ester something like this. We react this with RMgX. Now what would be the product? The negative charge over here would go attack at this carbonyl carbon, the pi electron would get polarized. We would form something like this over here. Now there are 2 electronegative atoms attached to this carbon. So one will push the electron and expel the other group out. So this is OR negative leaves out and we form a ketone over here. Now because there is a development of carbonyl compound, this will again react with Grignard reagent and form this, right. So again you can see this is consuming 2 moles of Grignard reagent. So if in question it is written excess, then you have to go to the alcohol. If it is written just 1 mole, you have to stop the reaction at ketone. So let us try another question. Let us try in a cyclic ester and we react this with a Grignard reagent. So this will go and basically attack at this carbon. The pi electrons are polarized, due to which we are going to form this. Now there are two electronegative atoms attached to a carbon. So this pushes its electron, this group goes out, but because it is attached, so it remains in the molecule. So we form a ketone and a OH and a O negative in this case. Now remember, we cannot carry out hydrolysis over here, because if we carry a hydrolysis over here, it will form OH, and when we again react with Grignard reagent, so it would react with this H first and would release an alkane. So we are going to carry out the acidic workup in the last step to avoid excess usage of Grignard reagent. Now again it will react with another mole of Grignard reagent, this attacks over here, the pi electron are polarized, and the second step we carry out acidic workup and we form a 3-degree alcohol over here. Because we are carrying the acidic workup in the last step, O negative also forms OH. Okay, so let us try one more. Let us try a molecule something like this. Now when we react this with Grignard reagent, this would go and attack at this carbon, the pi electrons are polarized. So we are going to form O negative, R, OR, OR. Now the carbon is attached to 3 electronegative atom. So the negative charge pushes out the OR group. So we form a ester over here. So we are forming ester over here. Now the ester can react with another 2 moles of Grignard reagent, something like this only. So it will form a 3-degree alcohol. In the second step we are carrying out acidic workup plus ROH. So basically this molecule consumes how many moles of Grignard reagent? It is consuming 1 mole here to form ester. Then we know that ester consumes 2 mole. So this molecule is consuming 3 moles of Grignard reagent. So just have a snapshot of this as well. This is again a very important concept. Now see, the purpose of doing Grignard reagent separately is to understand the reactions that will be encountered in almost all the chapters. Grignard reagent is present in alkanes, it is present in alkene, it is present in alkyl halide, it is present in alcohol, it is present in aldehydes and ketones as well as carboxylic acid. So if you cover this separately and have a very clear conclusion about the reaction, then this is a very easy topic, and definitely there are some questions in JEE as well as advanced where these topics are covered in details. So let us look at some other molecule. The second which we can say is reaction with acyl chloride. Now if you look at acyl chloride is something like this. If we react with a Grignard reagent, this having negative charge, this will go and attack at this, pi electron is polarized. So we form RCO negative RCl. Now there are 2 electronegative atoms attached to a carbon. The negative pushes out the Cl and we form a ketone. Once the ketone is formed, it can react with another mole of Grignard reagent and form a alcohol. So basically if you look at this, acyl chloride is also consuming how many moles? It is consuming 1 mole over here, and then it will consume 1 mole over here. So this also consumes 2 moles of, okay, this is also consumes 2 moles of a Grignard reagent. So let us look at another reaction, that is reaction with nitriles or cyanides. We write nitriles during the IUPAC nomenclature of cyanides. So let us consider simple molecule CH3 C triple bond N. Now this is also called as acetonitrile. Now we react this with Grignard reagent. Now again we know that carbon is binded to nitrogen through a pi bond. So because of this, nitrogen polarizes the pi electron toward itself and have some negative charge on it, and the carbon has some positive charge on it. So the Grignard reagent acts as a nucleophile and attacks at this carbon. The pi electrons are polarized. So we form CH3 C R double bond N negative MgX. Now a double bond still remains in this molecule. So we can think of another Grignard reagent attacking on this carbon and the pi electron getting polarized, but that would result into the accumulation of negative charge on nitrogen. So that step is not carried out. Indeed, the reaction does not proceed at all. So what we do is we carry out hydrolysis first. During hydrolysis, this is an imine bond. C double bond is also called as imine bond. So this imine bond breaks and form a ketone. Now because it has formed a ketone, so it can undergo reaction with again an RMGX and form a 3-degree alcohol. So again this also consumes 2 moles, but we are carrying out the acidic workup first and then it is consuming another mole of Grignard reagent. So for simplicity we will take that this is consuming only 1 mole of Grignard reagent, right. So next we cover is reaction with CO2. Now this is a very commonly asked question. This is also studied in preparation of carboxylic acid. Yes. So this R negative goes and attack at this carbon, the pi electrons are polarized. So we form RC double bond O negative. Now this is a carboxylate ion. Carboxylate ion is stabilized through resonance and the negative charge is always present on electronegative atom. So there won't be attack of another Grignard reagent because this is highly stable due to resonance and it leads to formation of equivalent resonating structure. So Grignard reagent won't attack over here. So just we have to carry it out acidic workup and we form a carboxylic acid. So Grignard reagent on reaction with CO2 forms carboxylic acid. Similarly, if we react with SO3, a same kind of mechanism would operate over here. This would attack at sulfur, oxygen, the electrons are polarized on oxygen forming RSO3 negative, which hydrolyzes to give RSO3. So we form a sulfonic acid in this case, right. If we react this with O2, it forms ROO MgX, a peroxide type of linkage which on hydrolyzing gives an alcohol molecule, right. So basically what we are doing is there is a negative charge over here, O double bond O. So negative attack on this oxygen, the pi electrons are polarized on another oxygen, this negative charge goes and form a ionic bond with this positive charge. So we form this. Now peroxide bonds are, we know, are unstable, so this hydrolyzes and forms an alcohol. Similarly, we can carry out a reaction of RMgX with sulfur in the same manner. We carry out hydrolysis and we form RSH. So we form thiols. So with CO2 it forms carboxylic acid, with SO3 it forms sulfonic acid, with O2 it forms alcohol, with acid it forms RSH. So students, let's revise whatever we have done because we have carried a very good number of reactions. So we started with the preparation of Grignard reagent. We know that Grignard reagent, what we are doing is Rx plus Mg in presence of dry ether, a Grignard reagent is being formed. Dry conditions have to be maintained in this reaction because in moist condition the magnesium would react and it loses its electropositive character. Also, if any Grignard reagent is formed in moisture, it will react immediately to form RH. Second thing which we covered was use of ether, because ether has a lone pair on oxygen, so it stabilizes the magnesium through a coordinate bond and hence it stabilizes the Grignard reagent. So the next thing which we covered was, because in Grignard reagent there is a negative charge on carbon, so it can either act as a base or a nucleophile. So the first reaction which you should always remember is, when you are reacting it with any compound which is having acidic hydrogen, active hydrogen or active methylene, just go for the acid base reaction, pull out H plus from the molecule and just add it to R negative, forming a respective hydrocarbon. The second reaction which we covered was nucleophilic addition reaction. The first was with aldehyde. With aldehyde it forms alcohols, with formaldehyde it forms 1 degree alcohol, with acetaldehyde it forms 2 degree alcohol, and with any ketone it would form a 3 degree alcohol. So aldehydes and ketone consumes only 1 mole of Grignard reagent. Then we studied with carboxylic acid derivatives. With esters it consumed 2 mole of Grignard reagent and form a 3 degree alcohol, and similarly with acyl chloride it reacts with 3 moles of Grignard reagent to form 2 moles of Grignard reagent to form a alcohol. Similarly we did with CO2, CO2 reacts to form carboxylic, SO3 reacts to form sulfonic, O2 reacts to form alcohol, and S8 reacts to form a thiol. So next reaction that comes into picture is the conjugate addition. Now suppose we are having a molecule something like this. Now this is called as, this is the main functional group. So if we label this, this is the main functional group, so this is alpha carbon, this is beta carbon, so there is a alpha beta unsaturation in this molecule. So, this is also called as alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde or say a ketone. Now, when we add any nucleophile to it, so there are two types of addition which are possible. Here we know that oxygen will have some negative charge and carbon will have some positive charge. So, this nucleophile can attack on this carbonyl carbon and the bond get polarized. So, we can form something like this. Now, if we label this as 1, this is 2, this is 3 and this is 4. So, basically what is happening, there is addition on 1 and 2. So, this reaction product is also called as 1,2 addition product. Right. Now, one more thing which we can do over here is just polarize this pi bond. So, there is a positive charge over here, then carry out a resonance. So, the positive charge goes at the 4th carbon. So, if you carry out the resonance, so something like this is formed. Just we are polarizing this double bond towards C double bond O and the nucleophile can attack on this carbon now. So, basically we are forming Nu, which is a nucleophile. We are adding H over here. So, basically what we are doing, we are carrying out addition at 1 and 4 position. So, this is also called as 1,4 addition product. Now, there is a enol formation over here, this is a enol. Now, we know that enols are unstable and they tautomerize back to give the starting ketone. So, basically what is happening over here is we are going to form this molecule. I hope this is clear to everyone. So, there are two kinds of addition reaction possible. One is 1,2 addition and one is 1,4 addition. 1,4 addition is also called as conjugate addition. Now, we need to know which compounds adds in 1,2 fashion and which adds in 1,4 fashion. So, just remember RMGX always add in 1,2 addition manner. So, it always gives 1,2 product. But when RMGX is taken along with copper plus salts, so it will always undergo 1,4 addition. Now, this can be explained through mechanism, but I do not think it is the right time to go in such detailed mechanism. Just remember Grignard always shows 1,2 addition, that is addition would happen only at the carbonyl group, but if copper salt is given along with it, then we have to carry out 1,4 addition. Similarly, RLI also shows 1,2 addition and R2CuLi, this shows 1,4 addition, right. So, this you have to remember, this is a very important concept. So, if we would have taken Grignard reagent over here RMGX and carry out a acidic workup in the second step, so R would have attacked over here. If we would have taken RMGX along with copper salt and second step we would have carried out acidic hydrolysis, then the R group would attach at the 4th position. So, this is a very important reaction which you should know. Okay? Just remember this, RMGX 1,2 addition in presence of copper salt, 1,4, RLI always 1,2, R2CuLi always 1,4 addition. Now, next reaction that comes is the reaction with oxyranes. Now, what are oxyranes? Oxyranes are basically ethylene oxide, also known as epoxide. Now, nomenclature is very important in this case, you need to know the nomenclature of the compounds. So, basically Grignard reagent will attack oxyrane ring or a oxetane ring. Oxetane is basically a cyclic ether having 3 carbons. Oxyranes are cyclic ether having only 2 carbon. Now, this reaction proceeds in a SN2 fashion. Now, what exactly happens in this reaction is when you take RMGX and you react with any ethylene oxide, so this will go and attack at this carbon and open up this ring. Because of ring strain, 3 membered rings are highly strained. Because of this ring strain, these compounds are highly reactive and Grignard reagent reacts in a SN2 fashion and opens up the ring. So, we are going to form over here is something like this, which on hydrolysis will give RCH2CH2OH. So, by SN2 we mean that it attacks at that carbon which is less sterically hindered. So, suppose we take this molecule. Now, the Grignard reagent can attack at this carbon, it can also attack at this carbon, but because there are two methyl groups attached to it, so there is a steric hindrance over here. So, this will attack at this carbon, this oxygen will get polarized over here, this electron will get polarized on oxygen, and we are going to form is something like this, right, which on hydrolysis would give so this is the reaction with oxyrenes, right. So, the new addition reactions which we have carried out now is reaction with oxyrenes and reaction with reaction with alpha beta unsaturated aldehydes or ketones. I hope this is also clear. Last reaction, there are 2-3 reactions which you should also know over here is, one is substitution reaction. Now, take any alkyl halide say Rx and to this add Grignard reagent RMGX. Now, this is having a negative charge, this goes and attack at this carbon and X is expelled out. So, this is also a type of SN2 reaction. Now, you just need to remember that this R dash has to be either methyl 1 degree or 2 degree also gives certain yield of SN2 reaction, but 3 degree will always give elimination product, right. So, this will always give E2 product, that is elimination product. So, whenever you are reacting alkyl halide with a Grignard reagent, it is an example of a SN2 reaction, but if the R group of the alkyl halide is 3 degree, then you have to carry out a elimination reaction. So, this is already we have done reaction with Rx. Now, let us consider these reactions, reaction of Grignard reagent with ClNH2. Now, whenever there are two electronegative atoms attached to it, Grignard reagent attack on one of the electronegative atom and the leaving groups depart and it forms RNH2. Similarly, in this case also there are two, this is sp hybridized and this is chlorine electronegative atom. So, this attack at this carbon and this Cl goes out. So, it forms R C triple bond N, right. So, I hope these reactions are clear. Just go through these reactions, browse through this reaction. When we are done with the class, just have the right conclusion. Believe me, if you are following me judicially, I will be able to make you score very good marks in organic. In organic, the major important thing is you need to classify those reactions perfectly. You need to understand which kind of reaction suits where and what are the basic conclusion that we should remember. So, whenever you see Grignard reagent, these reactions should come in your mind. First is acid base, second was nucleophilic addition, third which you did was substitution, and then a reaction with epoxide. So, this quick revision we have already done. So, let us quickly start with the questions. Now, just have a look at this question. These are basically previous year JEE Advanced and JEE Mains question. So, these find relevance in whatever we have covered till now. So, let us look at this question. Isobutyl magnesium bromide. So, we know that isobutyl group is something like this. With dry ether and ethyl alcohol. So, we are reacting this with ethyl alcohol. Okay, so, which reaction is this? This is the reaction of active hydrogen. Hydrogen is attached to electronegative atom. So, this H plus will come out. The negative charge would combine with it and form a hydrocarbon alkane. So, plus Mg. So, okay, this is a Grignard over here. OET Br. So, which is the product in this case? So, if you look at the option, this is the, so isn't it easy? Like obviously these are very easy reactions. Right conclusion, right approach towards organic reaction helps you in predicting the product very easily. Another question is, there is this molecule CH3 whole thrice CMgCl on reaction with D2O. Again, what is D2O? D is attached to electronegative atom. So, basically it will give out D plus ion which will go and attack at this carbon and form CH3 whole thrice CD. This was, I think, AIEEE in 2010 or 11. When magnesium bromide reacts with, when phenyl magnesium bromide reacts with, phenyl magnesium bromide will be this benzene ring, MgBr. When it reacts with tertiary butanol, we know that the hydrogen is attached to a electronegative atom. So this get released as H plus and it forms a benzene ring. Okay, what would be the product when 1 bromo 3 chlorocyclobutane? So we know that 1 chloro 3 bromocyclobutane is this. When we react with this sodium in presence of dry ether, so this is basically a Woods reaction. So what happens in Wood reaction? 2 moles of sodium is taken and it forms NaCl and NaBr, and a bond formation takes place over here. So this is the right option. This was asked in some previous year IIT. So again, it is a very easy question. Let us look at this reaction now. Now there is a molecule which has been given, which has a chiral carbon over here, and it has a fixed stereochemistry because it has been given that methyl is coming out of plane. So this have a fixed stereochemistry. So when methyl attacks on the ketone, it forms a 3-degree alcohol over here. Now this carbon will also be optically active because it attached to 4 different groups. There is a methyl over here, there is a OH over here, then there is a CH2, here is also CH2. When we go down, there is a CH over here and there is a CH2 over here. So these groups are different. So this is 4 different groups. But because the stereochemistry of this carbon is fixed, so let us assume that it has a stereochemistry of say R configuration. It might be S, I am not checking it out, just I am doing it just to solve the question. So suppose this is R. Now because this is optically active, there can be 2 forms that can be formed. One is R and the other could be S, but because the stereochemistry is fixed of this, so these 2 products are formed, and we know that they are diastereomers of each other because they are non-mirror images. So in this case, the product would be diastereomers. Okay, which of the following solvent is not suitable for formation of Grignard reagent? We know that Grignard reagent requires ether for coordinate bond for stabilization of magnesium atom. So this is basically THF, a cyclic ether. So this will stabilize Grignard. This is also a dioxane, this will also stabilize. This is again a ether, it will also stabilize, but this does not have any donor atom like oxygen. So this won't stabilize Grignard reagent. So it is not a effective solvent. So again, if you look at these questions, you can very much understand that JEE just asks the questions that are deeply conceptually rooted. So you need to have the right concept, right conclusion about the reactions, and things get very easy from there. Now again, look at the question. It's a very beautifully crafted question that takes into the consideration the basic concept of Grignard reagent. A big molecule has been given. Just don't be afraid of the big molecules. Big molecule means easy questions. Just see the structure in the right manner. So this says that we are having this big molecule and we are reacting with some excess Grignard reagent. So basically it is asking total number of Grignard reagent that will be consumed by this molecule. So these questions are very easy. Just try to understand what kind of functional groups are present over here. So there is a ester over here, there is again a ester over here, and we know that ester consumes 2 moles of Grignard reagent. We had already concluded that. So they will consume 2 moles. There is a ketone over here, this will consume only 1 mole. There is a alkyl halide over here, 2-degree alkyl halide. So it will undergo substitution, it will consume another 1 mole. There is a cyanide over here, so this will consume 1 mole. Now cyanide or nitrile is little confusing because we had said that it also react with 2 moles of Grignard reagent. But once it react with 1 mole of Grignard reagent, then we have to carry out acidic hydrolysis to form ketone. Once we carry out the hydrolysis or the acidic workup, everything over here will convert into alcohol. Whatever alcohol can be formed will be formed. So when we put RMGX again, so it would react with active hydrogen first and like would not give the proper yield of the product. So, what we do is, for simplicity, we just assume in such questions that it reacts only with 1 mole of Grignard reagent. So, basically 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, basically it is consuming 7 mole of Grignard reagent. So, this is again a very conceptual question that could be asked in JEE Advanced or Mains. Okay, let us skip this question for the while. Let us consider another integer type of question. Say a reaction 1 has been given. Before looking into the question, let us understand what is happening in the reaction. So, we have taken x moles of Grignard reagent and we have added to this compound. Now, we know that there is a acyl group over here, acyl group over here, acyl consume 2 moles, this will also consume 2 mole. There is acidic hydrogen, so the R negative, CH3 negative would combine with H plus and form methane gas, CH3 negative would combine with H plus and form methane gas. So, this would also consume 1 mole. So, totally it will consume 6 moles. So, this is consuming 6 moles. When we carry out the acidic hydrolysis, this will form alcohol, this hydrogen would get attached again and it would form the corresponding product. Now, consider this molecule. When we are reacting with Grignard reagent, there is a ester over here. We know that ester react with 2 moles of Grignard. There is an alkyl halide over here. This will attack and this has replaced in this structure. So, this is also consuming 1 mole. So, totally it is consuming 3 mole. So, x y over here is 3, x over here is 6. So, x by y will be 2. So, this is the answer. So, again a very beautifully crafted question. Let us consider this question. We are taking Grignard reagent and to this we are adding copper plus salt. We know that in presence of copper plus salt it is a 1,4 addition. So, this will basically go at this position, pi electrons are polarized and then the enol form tautomerizes back. So, basically the product would be this in this case.